Hey, I'm Sash.
And I'm Ash.
And we are Born Legacy. And we are on a mission
to bring light to darkness.
Experiencing a lot of trauma in our lives, we were led down a path of drug addiction, domestic violence, sexual abuse, and prostitution. And we became trapped in some very, very dark places. After a series of breaking points and near-death experiences, we finally got to the point where the fear of change outweighed the fear of staying the same. And we realized that we needed to take control over our lives and make some serious changes.
So we heavily invested into personal growth and development and just intensely began making different shifts in our lives. And it ended up becoming a complete transformation. And through our journey and other people witnessing the profound changes we were making, we had women reaching out, wondering, how do I do the same? Like, how did you change your life? How did you get out of this? And so we realized we held the key to something pretty powerful. And so we began extracting profound tools and insights that really created pivotal moments in our life and condensed them into a series of workshops.
What we do is so important because not only is this an epidemic worldwide, all of these issues culturally and socially that we look at and speak openly and vulnerably about, but right here and now in this time where so many of these social issues are on the rise. When we think about COVID and domestic violence, imagine how many women are now stuck behind closed doors with their abusers.
We're here to shine light in those dark places. Right? And we have such a huge benefit because we've been in a lot of those scenes, in a lot of those worlds. We experienced it firsthand. And so that's really what creates so much power behind what we do and how we're able to make a difference in the lives of other women, because we get it. We are raw, we are real, we don't sugarcoat anything, and we genuinely care about people, and we really want to show them their strengths. Let them see that they have so much more potential than what they see themselves.
The biggest gap that we found that is missing in this sector is that people in these spaces of limitation and low self-beliefs and you know, all these limited ways of thinking, they don't feel understood. And from our experience, going through traditional counseling never fully resonated with us. And that's not to put down counseling. It's so, so important, and it's a great service, and we've both taken value from it. However, we never really felt understood because a lot of the people we were working with didn't have that life experience. We have been through things that would give you nightmares. So we can resonate with women who are going through all sorts of different traumas in their lives.
And it has us be able to build that sense of community, that sense of trust. It creates a safe space for other people to talk about what they're going through, because for generations, we silence ourselves thinking that we can't talk about these things, that we don't know that other people are going through these things. We think that, you know, we're isolated and nobody's going to understand us. And so to be able to create a sense of vulnerability for other women to actually acknowledge and to no longer suppress the challenges they're facing, and be able to have conversations with women who get them, who understand, and who have overcome that, it's a powerful thing in itself.
And the biggest part of that is helping these women to take responsibility in their lives and to hold themselves accountable. We really, really thrive on the premise that it doesn't matter what happens to you in life. What matters is how we choose to respond to those things and move forward. There are many circumstances in our lives that we've endured that could have completely taken us down and did temporarily keep us in a space of victimization. And when you don't know anything better, you can't do anything better. And that's, again, why our motto is know better, do better. Because once your mind is expanded to new paradigms and new ways of thinking, you realize how much you've been limiting yourself all this time.
Yeah, and the key too is, you know, you can know better, but knowledge is only potential power. It's the action that is what holds that true power.
Yes, exactly. And that's where we hold people accountable too. Building this community of women who uplift and support each other to rise is so, so crucial, especially in a time where we are so competitive with each other. If we think about women specifically, we are so self-conscious because we go onto social media and we look at the TV shows and we look at all these beautiful women.
Yeah, taught that we're supposed to look a certain way, we're supposed to be a certain way, talk, act.
And
right?
from the time we're very, very small, we start to put on these lenses like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, nobody loves me, I'm not as good as this person. And those beliefs alone
create the reality that we live in, because we won't see anything beside that, and what you focus on is what grows. So if you're focusing on the fact that you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're going to constantly see that in every circumstance you're in.
And with low self-worth and self-esteem comes very low standards for your life. So you'll accept abuse, you'll accept addiction, or turn to addiction to cope. One thing that we really, really push is that there's so much judgment placed on women who are in the sex industry, or who are addicts, or who are staying in violent relationships, but we don't stop to look at why are they staying in those relationships? What led them to the addiction in the first place? And we can get them clean and we can take them out of those environments, but until they change their mindsets,
they're just going to end up back there.
They're going to end up in the same situation. Their lives are not going to be any different.
Especially with COVID right now, everyone's locked in their home, and with that comes resorting to alcohol more, drugs. The fatalities are high because they have nothing else to turn to. Suicide is heightened. Everything is at an all-time extreme because they're looking for a way out. They're looking for something to do.
A way to cope.
A way to cope. Exactly.
Absolutely. The resources that we generally have access to have been very minimal. A lot of that connection that a lot of these people struggling with these things have had to help them get through these, those connections have been very cut off and limited and minimal. So now more than ever, we understand that what we're doing is so, so important, and just creating these conversations is a great basis to raise awareness and spread the reality of what is actually happening.